And welcome back to the stream. I'm RJ Jacinto, and I am with.
Maximus, and we're back for the Grand Asia Open 2025 Philippines One Piece card game for day one.
And we are now in round two. We just finished round one. It's a match between the top two decks of the meta. And actually, this is very exciting because this is the first big event with OP-12 here in our country.
That's right, and this matchup is actually pretty interesting, right?
Yeah.
It's actually in the anime. It's also one of the most
Most anticipated,
anticipated.
yeah.
That's right. So this is Luffy versus Blackbeard.
Purple Luffy.
Yep.
Versus
Purple Luffy
Blackbeard.
versus Blackbeard. So this is actually pretty exciting. We have Captain Kabata
On his
versus
Blackbeard.
Lunea.
Lunea on his Purple Luffy. I think on paper, theoretically, I will be giving Luffy the advantage here because he can just basically go vroom
Yeah.
and play his big characters first before then Captain Kabata. And we know that Blackbeard doesn't have that many counters. They rely on their 10 cost each. But the question is, can Lunea deal a lot of damage before they go into that zone where Jesus Burgess and the 10 cost each will take over the game?
That's right. So, well, it still depends on how Lunea was able to, build his deck,
Yeah.
right? Because we have a deck build for Purple Luffy with multiple Luffy Taros,
Yeah.
right? Zorojuros, which is actually gives him a huge advantage since he will be able to ramp up really fast, right? And play at least two characters
Yeah.
per turn.
But if
There's-
you're Blackbeard, you have to respect the Taro.
That's right.
Always use your leader ability whenever P. Luffy or any opponent that has access to Luffy Taro reaches 8 dons.
That's right. But Lunea also needs to be careful if that's the deck build that he actually shows for the Grand Asia Open. He needs to be careful with one event from Captain Kabata or from Teach, right? Which removes two characters if
Yeah.
the Purple Luffy has more than two characters, right?
Yeah,
What will be
so
that card again?
That's liberation. So
That's
that
right.
KOs or that KOs or that KOs original cost 6 and 4.
That's
if you have
right.
two or more characters than your opponent. So turn one for Kabata, he went for a stage. Sorry, not a stage and my era, and he managed to get I think Jesus Burgess. And
That's
that would
right.
be ski cards against Lunea here. So Lunea, I think he just passed the turn one, his turn one.
That's right.
So with 4 dons, will this be a Zoro Juro or a Bonchan?
All right, it depends, but I think the best play here would be a Zoro for him
Yeah,
to be able to dig
6K.
for that, early.
Oh,
Oh,
went
he
for
chose for the
Bonchan.
Bonchan.
Okay.
So most probably he will play a Luffy 9 cost pretty early because he
Yeah.
chose to go at the as a second player, right?
But
So-
the problem with Luffy 9 cost is that rush ability is tied in with an on play, so Captain Kabata can just use his leader ability if he thinks that the 9 cost Luffy is coming. So there will be no rush there. Depends. Now this is the 4 dawn turn. The question is, he do have some events and Jesus Burgess. Will he go for a more aggressive Blackbeard that plays early Burgess and then fill his trash using his My Era and stage, or will he go the control route?
That's right.
That's the question because there's already Bonchan on the field on P. Luffy's side, so he has to be very careful in playing big characters here.
That's right. But again, let's not forget that going back to the Luffy 9 cost, even though that there's no on play for Lunea, he'll be able to get that huge advantage. Let's not forget that there's no more Ice Age.
Yeah,
Right?
it will be hard.
So it will be hard for Captain Kabata to remove the Luffy 9 cost.
Yeah,
Right? So
that's
that gives Lunea a huge advantage after that turn because
Oh.
Captain Kabata will just automatically take the damage. That's 10k,
Yeah.
right? 10k damage for the next turn.
And related to that, there's a big change on Blackbeard decklist nowadays in OP-12. There's very few lists that uses Shigan or finger pistol now.
Yep.
They rely on characters. The only I think event that they're using is Liberation and my era.
That's right. Well, I just also noticed that Captain Kabata is already using English cards. So just to
Oh,
let you know, guys, for those who are watching, a One Piece card game English cards are now available here in the Philippines, and it's already legal
yeah,
for tournaments.
true.
So if you're thinking, it's very hard to understand because of the language barrier, now is the right time for you to join One Piece card game here in the Philippines because there's already English cards available, like what we actually we've shown
Yeah,
earlier from the products that from our casting table.
yeah.
So going,
Although the English cars are kind of one set late because it's
that's right.
whatever available in the Western right now. I think next year there's already an announcement that there will be a global release, meaning both West and the East will now have the same sets that will be available on each region.
That's right. So, well, it's actually going to be more competitive worldwide,
Yeah.
right? Since there's no more set barriers between Asia, Europe, and also the US
Yeah.
or West. So now we're seeing Blackbeard attacking Purple Luffy. Purple Luffy took the damage.
Went for no, that's I think he's ramp.
Oh,
He used the
he
leader
ramped.
ability.
All right. So he does have a Sachi penguin on his deck build. All right.
Oh,
Most
so
probably he's
so
using.
he's using the one who won the Japan CS before.
That's
That
right.
uses Sanjin Penguin for his. Usually, I think there's no way that you can use Sanjin Penguin's ability here.
That's
But
right.
it's more of a searchable 2K with Law, the Law Searcher.
All right, and there you go. Luffy Taro with no ability, which is also gives him a huge advantage because it's already a 7 cost where Captain Kabara needs to, use a lot of
Yeah.
cost reduction cards, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to waste a lot of hand cards here for Captain Kabata. So there's no Luffy 9 cost.
I don't think he can remove Luffy Taro. There's no cards. Well, he do can, but you have to use 3 stronger to do that.
That's right. Or maybe he might have, a tech card, right? I've seen some lists with Rebecca. Is that Rebecca that reduces Shirahoshi,
Yeah.
right? Reduces true cost. So it still depends on what type
Yeah,
of deck
well, he
list
can
he's using.
for 6 Dawn, so he can play Shirahoshi -4. Oh no, Shirahoshi is on play, so
Yep.
he can't use that.
Oh yeah, that's
He
right.
can use that.
He might be able to play.
He do have Kusan on his hand.
Kusan,
So
yeah.
maybe he is thinking of getting that Van Ogre.
Mhm.
So that he can't decide. So
All right.
now he's pivoting, and I think this time he will go for the Jesus Burgess. He'll just say,
That's right.
okay, I can't remove you, so I'll just gonna play a big character on my own because currently Jesus Burgess is a 7K,
Mm-hmm.
and Bonchan can only
Oh, there you go. He will be able to reduce
-3,
-3.
and there
There's
you
a
go,
Kazan.
getting that Van Ogre. That's -3 again. Now -7 and removed. Oh.
All right.
So that's his tech. That's his tech now. He
That's
went
right.
for Tempest Kick. That's why he went for My Era first. He doesn't have 10 cards on his trash earlier, so he went for My Era first to fill more and to fulfill the requirement of Tempest Kick.
That's right. So Linnea on a little bit of a tight spot here, but will he target stronger or will he still go for leader?
Yeah, that's the
this
decision
turn?
he has to make because attacking stronger and Van Ogre means he will be giving hand cards to Captain Kabada.
All right.
So
And let's not forget that Captain Kabata has 1 blocker on the field,
Caribou.
Caribou. He won't be able to rest that because all the characters from Linnea doesn't have any on plays.
Yes.
Right? So this is actually also a pretty challenging spot for Linnea. The best possible way for him to get an advantage here is playing 2 characters in this turn, but then Captain Kabata still will be able to remove 1 of those characters because he has access from Van Ogre and also Stronger.
Now the question is, will he? It looks like it's okay for him to give cards to Captain Kabada And yeah, it looks like he will be playing some smaller characters because he went for Doc Q instead of Van Ogre.
All right.
Ooh, he's asking for hand cards now.
All right. So.
Stronger
Mm-hmm.
stat, 8
All
Don.
right.
Oh,
There you
there
go.
you go.
That's the
Sec
Luffy that we've
Luffy.
been looking for, and he played. He even played that law, so
Yeah.
he will be able to deal damage if there's another stronger that will be
Yeah.
added on the field, right? So this
That's
is actually
true.
a pretty good play here from Linnea, giving
That's
more
true.
pressure for those small characters from Captain
And
Kabata.
actually, a lot of players are doing that against Blackbeard. Again, Blackbeard maximum 8 or 10 2K counters. So their counters is very very limited. So even that one cost law can actually go for lethal if he manage or if Captain Kabada won't get enough counters. That can mean a 5K attacker next turn. And it looks like Captain Kabada well, will Bonchan survive the next turn? I don't see why you're not targeting Bonchan if ever you're Captain Kabada. 2, 4, 8 dons for Captain Kabada. So at this point, I think if he do have Burgess on his hand. So I think this is the time where you have to decide whether to go for control or to build your own board now. Now, well, it depends on if we see Van Ogre go for cost reduction or go for an attack for cost. How many Burgess does he have?
All right. I think what he's planning here is
Four.
at least, even though that he'll be able to control the board, he's gonna add more aggression as well. So,
Okay.
right, he's gonna search top 3. There's a Kazan and there's another Doc Van Ogre rather, and there's also a stronger. So this is actually a pretty tough decision here for Captain Kabata, depending on his hand cards as well.
But there,
So,
I'm thinking of a way that he can remove that Luffy now with the board that he has. He has to have one, two. He has to have 2 Tempest Kick just to remove that Luffy. He went for Dock Q.
all right, I think he has the right hand cards here
Now
to remove.
I think he's going for. Well, if he plans to play Burgess, he would have trashed Kuzan with leader. Not Kuzan. He would have trashed Burgess with leader ability. Get that Kuzan. So at least he do have additional hand cards.
All right, he's now checking his trash. If there's actually other possible options for if ever he has Kazan on hand.
Leader ability. Oh, there you go. He do have Kuzan on his
Yep.
hand.
So this turn, most probably he won't control the board, but he will just control his hand cards
Now,
and add more characters
think-
or add more threats on
yeah,
the
I
board.
think Captain Kabada will now go for an aggression. He's also preparing for his lethal turn, going for a more aggressive approach here. He wants to KO that law. Again, that law can transform into a 5K attacker and will ask hand cards to Captain Kabada. And he went for stronger. Also, making, not stronger, Dokyu, making Dokyu a pseudo blocker because now Lunea can either attack Dokyu, preventing a KO character, or just let it go and go for the leader now.
That's right. So I think the best play here for Lunea is adding one more big body on his field, because if he adds 2
Oh,
more
you do have
small
Luffy on his
bodies,
hand.
yep, if he adds 2 small bodies on the field, then he won't be able to remove Stronger or Van Ogre on the field. He'll just, Captain Kabata will just remove those characters on the board.
Now
So he's going to
going
go
for
for
6K.
6K. Who will be the target? Will it be a leader, or will it be Stronger or Van Ogre?
I think
Or Doku or Van Ogre, rather.
I think if you're P. Luffy, you have to realize that Kabada is now pivoting from board control to technically setting up his own lethal turn. You have to go to the leader now.
All right.
It's going to be a base race, and Kabada, it depends if he has 10 cost teach, because then you can freeze Luffy and prepare or have a big character or a blocker on your side of the board. Now that's
That's
the
right.
question. I haven't. Oh no, he do have. I think that's the wanted teach. I saw it earlier.
Uh-huh.
So he has to block this one. He has to block this one. You want to have at least two lives, because by if you are down to one life, you're not comfortable going for the 10 cost, because with this play, multiple smaller bodies means more attackers, and that's going to depend how many hand cards you have.
All
I think he
right.
only has five at the moment.
Uh-huh. That's right. So now he did not, control the board. He did not
Yeah.
remove Doku. He did not remove Van Ogre, but he played two characters. So technically, if Captain Kabata has another cost reduction, that Sangoro will definitely get removed by Doku. So, you know,
Yeah.
not really, in my opinion, not really the most advisable play for him, since
Well,
he actually left that Doku on the
yeah.
field. But it also gives Captain Kabata, more, pressure, because he's adding more characters on the board, more pressure for him.
Yeah.
Most probably he'll play a 10 cost Teach
Yeah.
and then remove the Zoro Juro.
Leaving
And
just two attackers on the side of Lunea.
That's right. And then he'll be able to add more pressure onto Lunea's life, since he doesn't have any Dons active on the field.
Yeah.
He doesn't have any Gum Gum
Gum
Giants
Giant.
for this turn. So he will take most probably the damage from the Jesus Burgess.
Yeah, that's
All right.
true.
So this is actually, a really, 50-50 still fight between
Burgess is
Lunea.
a 9K.
That's
Well,
right.
I think at this point, Captain Kabada is on a good position here. If he plays 10 cost Teach, that means that Luffy won't be able to attack next turn. Sorojuro will be removed. And then there's only two attackers. One big blocker, two lives. He's pretty safe. There's no way that Lunea can rest that 10 cost Teach. And that means next turn, Lunea is forced to play defensively, because Burgess is now a 9K, and Captain Kabada will have a 9K and a 10K attacker when the turn passed to him.
All right, that's right. So that's a Teach 10
And
cost. Stuns the Luffy 9 cost and attacks with 9K onto the leader. Linnea was forced to take the damage. Now, the best possible play here for Linnea, let's not forget that Purple Luffy has access to Kid 5 cost, which is a blocker. He also has access to Law 4 cost, which is also a blocker. And there's also a new blocker that was added on our card pool, which is the Robin 3 cost. That gives him more option to search the top 3 cards if it gets KO'd.
Yeah.
So there's still more options here for Linnea, but again, like what I mentioned earlier, it depends with the deck build that they actually use for this tournament, right?
Surprisingly, Captain Kabada immediately uses 10 cost Teach after just a 6K attack from that Sangoro.
That's right. So Linnea was able to draw at least one additional card.
Yeah.
So we're still two.
How many hand cards does he have? 2, 4, 6 hand cards.
That's right.
9K attack, Vanilla Verges, plus a 10K attack from Teach. Well, Teach 12K or 10K? I think he's 12, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so too. So 12K.
I'm not seeing a lot of Blackbeards lately on
Yeah.
the matchups I've been playing. So there you go. So Linnea's possible prayer here is Captain Kabata won't be able to draw another Teach next turn,
No.
and he will be able to guard all the attacks. Imagine that's a Jesus Burgess that's possibly at around 11K or 12K, a Teach, a 10 cost Teach that will attack for 12K as well.
7.
And there's a 6K that might be able to, Captain Kabata might be able to use to control the hand cards from Linnea, right? and there's the leader who can attack for at least 5k to check the hand
Yeah.
cards as well. So this is actually a really, really tight spot here for Linnea, especially with the current board state from Captain Kabata.
Oh,
He attacks with 8k. What
he's
would be the
asking
best
for-
option here?
He needs to guard. He needs to guard this if he wants to finish the game. You always have to respect Gum Gum Giant
That's right.
because Gum Gum Giant, if Lunea won't like only has 6 hand cards, that's already math lethal with the characters that he has. But Gum Gum Giant always a wild card, always something miraculous happens whenever anything can happen when you use Gum Gum Giant. So that might be the X factor here for Lunea. But yeah, if Lunea doesn't have any Gum Gum Giants, it's already math lethal with just Burgess and Teach. Oh, he let Van Ogre go. So that's attacker reduce on the side of Kabada, and 6 cost Sanji. Well, 6 cost Sanji. If Kabada managed to get Liberation, you can still Teach 9. Well, actually, he can go for Teach here. Freeze Luffy again. If you manage to get another Teach, that would be actually good. A 5-9. 5. How many? I'm not sure how big is Burgess now. Okay. Kabada knows what we're talking about and immediately counted. So the 4, 5, one
11k.
card, one card missing, and now he's 11k. Burgess is an 11k. Trashes Lafitte. Trashes Lafitte, 11k. Look at the top 3. Oh, there you go. And that would be the play here. Freezing Luffy again. And that means... Oh,
He's actually thinking really hard here because
yeah, he
there's
went for Teach.
there's
That would be the
possibly
play.
another option, but the best play here will be playing another Teach,
Yeah,
control the
freezing.
board,
Yeah.
put some pressure on life, so Lunea won't be able to do a good comeback next
Yeah.
turn.
And that would seal. That's the final nail in the coffin, actually.
That's right.
Another Teach. Even if you attack with the other Teach, I think Lunea won't have lethal. If he plays Teach, that means there's going to be 3 attackers max.
That's
You
right.
still have 2 lives, so take block. And then if Sanji attacks with as the 3rd attacker, that means Lunea won't have any more blockers, so he will be open. Oh, he blocked immediately with Luffy, so that's the signal that Lunea doesn't have anything on his hand. And Gum Gum Giant, that one done is just a bluff. So
That's right.
that might be a problem for Lunea. And it looks like this is already over. I think the only out here, how many hand cards does Captain Kabada has? Only 3?
Yep, that's
if
right.
he managed to get Sexoro. The 6 cost Sexoro, because that means 4 attackers, take, 7k, 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 3 hand cards. Oh no.
Zoro or Luffy?
Sorry. Luffy. The
Luffy,
Sex
there you go.
Luffy. Yeah, the 6 cost
I got
Luffy.
confused if there's another Sex Zoro.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that could be an
there's
option.
only 4, there's 4 cards.
4 cards.
It
That would be a
He-
gamble if he does
yeah,
that.
but he has to count how many 2k counters are on Captain Kabada's trash. Again, teach 2k counters around 8 to 10. 10 max. So if you manage to count maybe like 7 or 8 already, can gamble with that.
I think he does have the secret rare Luffy. He actually separates 2 active dons earlier, and there's going to be 8 dons left. But we'll
9,
see what type
7,
of safe
9.
play will he choose here.
I don't think there's any more safe play here. This would be the last turn of Linnaeus. He's here alive. Next turn, Captain Kabada can just trash all of his hand cards to even buff Burgess for a much bigger attack. And yeah, I don't think there's any more. Wait, 2K. If Kabada takes this, I think he knows. They are teasing each other. Might be Sek Luffy. I think that's the only out. He has to gamble that Captain Kabada doesn't have any 2K counters, and the remaining attacks has to go through.
That's
Now,
right.
the 6K attack, this is a gamble. If Kabada takes this, there's a chance for Linnea. If Kabada guards this, that's already over.
Well, the safest play here is for him to guard, even though with two 1Ks.
Yeah, but
Right?
yeah, that's the gamble part that Kabada doesn't have anything because he will be pushing for multiple 9Ks. I think.
That's right. All right, he took the damage.
He took one.
Or maybe he's bluffing for Linnea to commit all the dons.
Oh!
Oh no,
There's
there's
no
only
Sek Luffy. He won't be going for
Sanji.
Sek Luffy. So he went for Sanji, but 3 Gum Gum Giants. Let's assume that that's 3 Gum Gum Giants. How many hand cards does Linnea has? Maybe 4, 5.
Mhm.
So Gum Gum Giant, Gum Gum Giant, Gum Gum Giant attack take. Still,
It could be enough depending on what cards he will draw after the Gum Gum Giant.
yeah. Wait, I'm counting with Burgess. Burgess is now 12K.
You'll have to consider that Burgess is around 16K, depending on the hand cards, or 13K rather, 13 or 14K. So
So
now,
let's assume he has 3 Gum Gum Giants. A teach attack will require 2 Gum Gum Giants already.
that's right.
So that's then another teach attack blocks, and then you go for the all-in Burgess. I think it's math lethal. Even if your 3 Gum Gum Giants gets you 6 2K.
That's right. And Captain Kabata can do a hand check.
Yeah, he
Right.
can just go for a big, maybe 9K attack with the leader. 9K attack just to pressure Gum Gum Giant. Oh, he went for a big attack immediately. He went for. Wait, how many?
Most probably around 12,
Around
11, 12.
11
or 12.
12K.
Right?
Hmm,
That's a huge
actually
swing.
interesting. That's actually interesting because that means he can just go for the block. Went for the first Gum Gum Giant, trashing Zoro Juro. Draw 2.
He needs 2K and 1K if it's a 12.
There's another Gum Gum Giant on his hand now.
All right, we're seeing also a Usuhachi. So if it's 11K, he just needs one more Usuhachi to guard that 11K. But if it's a 12, it requires 2 more hand cards, which is actually pretty tight for Linnea.
No,
And-
even with 2K.
Ouch! That's a 0
Even
cost.
with just 11K, it requires the two more because Luffy is just 5K. So 12, 9, it's just gonna be 9, and then 11 requires 2K.
All right,
2K, 1K.
and he uses a Jet Gatling
Wow.
right after that. So it's
That's
12K.
12.
Will Linnea be able to guard this with another Gum Gum Giant? He still has one more Usuhachi on hand
And another Gum Gum Giant.
and another
because-
Gum Gum Giant.
So 12, 9. Ooh. So 9 requires 2 2K counter to guard the 12K attack. So that means at least 2 cards will be taken out on his hand card because Gum Gum Giant will replace itself +1 and then the 2 2K counters that he has to pitch in and went for the block.
He's
So-
wide. He's now wide open.
Yeah,
So there could be
maximum.
22K.
So the maximum now is 13 from the Gum Gum Giants, and then imagine getting 4 more 2K counters. 13 plus 8, just 21. With all in 22, it's already over. Maximum of 22.
Right, another 12K attack. He discarded Usuhachi. It means that he has
Wow.
multiple 2K counters here. Another Gum Gum Giant. What
That's a
card will he
14.
remove? A Zoro Juro. That's already in a how many hand cards left? There you go. Oh! Congratulations to Captain Kabata.
It's not enough